Hello. How's everybody doing? Good? Well, I just wanted to give a quick update on camp. We've had 10 practices and had a scrimmage and have basically covered a lot of situations, but been through all the situations that you can have in a football game basically already at least once, and then through the course of this next week we'll go through them all again. So practices have been very spirited, great attitude, guys working extremely hard. Got a lot of good competition going on at places. Got a lot of depth, more depth than we've had since I've been here, and brought in a freshman class who I feel is an outstanding class. Here after 10 practices, they're going to be very, very good players at some point, and we're excited about the class as a whole. There's some the offensive linemen have been very good. The young defensive lineman in particular has been very good, and we're excited about the group. So, everybody probably wants to ask about the quarterback situation. We're still in a battle there. It's been very good though. I think all three guys have benefited from the competition, meaning all three of them have raised their level from the spring. I think with the sense of urgency of spring ball ending and then going through the summer, you can tell they've all prepared very, very well. You see things that we've talked to them about they had to work on between now and then, and they've all made improvements in those areas. They've all had good days. They've all had a couple down days, if you will, which is at that position you're going to have those types of situations, but we always want to see how they respond to that. And all three of them have done very well. They're all three continuing to get repetitions with the ones and the twos. They're getting an equal amount of reps. We've thrown a lot at them, and again, as I mentioned earlier, I think all three of them are going to be better for it because they've all raised their level. Darian Boone, our freshman quarterback who's here in the spring and was completely lost really for all spring, has looked very good thus far, and I think he has a very bright future. He has 5 years left to play for, so very athletic, throwing the ball with much more confidence, has a very strong arm, and we're very, very excited about him. Defense, I'll start over there. Been very happy. They won our Jersey scrimmage that we had on Sunday, which I think that's the first time since I've been here the defense has won the scrimmage, which was a real positive. It's been real back and forth between the offense and defense, but defense has dominated at times, which has been very good. In particular, our defensive line has been very, very active. The addition of Jeremy Gaynor, I think, is going to be a real positive for us. He's been very good in camp, in particular the last 3 days as he's starting to get more comfortable with the defensive scheme and the calls and the terminology. Kenny McClendon's been very solid in camp. Blake Serpa continues to play well at defensive end. And then Lewis Palmer, who we moved to defensive end, has gotten himself down to 265 and has been very quick and explosive. And Alex Smith, who we were able to bring back for a fifth year, has looked explosive, and again, every day that goes by, he's more comfortable coming off that injury. So we feel good about the group at defensive end. There's 3 seniors in the group, 2 fifth-year seniors and a fourth-year senior. So I think that bodes well when the more you start playing guys on your defensive line that are older, helps your football team. Inside, Latarius Walton, Matt Lozanecki, Kelby Latta, Schaefer Johnson, have all been very good in there, been very productive at different times. Schaefer Johnson looks as best as he has, looks very quick. LT's been very quick and very athletic in there as well, and those guys look good. Jabari Dean has been limited in what he can do with a hip injury in there, but we expect him to be available for us when we play Michigan, so that'll be good to get him back. And then Ben Randall, who's come back off of a back injury, has practiced, and he's been very good in there as well. We're much bigger. We got some guys over 300 pounds and right around 300 pounds in there. We're big and strong in there, and that's very important. The 2 linebackers, Shamari Benton and Justin Strokey, have been very good, and Cody Lopez and Tim Hamilton and Nate Ricketts behind them have all been very good as well, so we feel good about that group. Joe Bocci hurt his shoulder the 3rd day, hasn't practiced since then, so we're hoping that we can get him back in the next couple weeks. Joe Osman, young player, freshman, is going to going to redshirt, but we think he's got a chance to be very good as well. The secondary, Kayvon Frazier's had an outstanding camp at safety. He's got potential to be a difference maker in this league. Avery Cunningham's been very solid. Excuse me, and Jarrett Chapman as well. Those have been our 3 starting safeties all camp, and all 3 have done very well. Corner, we got Jason Wilson playing one corner, and the other corner's up for grabs, but we've got a great competition going. Dennis Naylor, Brandon Greer, Stephon Armstead, and Jordan Fields all competing for that job, and at different times they've all been very good. Stephon Armstead in particular, who was a guy that didn't play much last year, has now put together a pretty solid spring and a pretty good early camp. I think he has 5 interceptions this camp so far, so he's making plays, and all those guys continue to improve. As Archie Collins, our corners coach, is doing a tremendous job with those guys, and they're buying into what he's teaching them, and you can really see that on the tape every day, what they've been working on, and they're playing with an edge, and they've been very good. We have a young corner, Josh Cox, freshman. He's going to be very good. The other safeties, Tyree Waller and Jeff Perry, we've been very happy with those guys. I didn't mention those 3 defensive linemen we brought in, Michael Steinhauer, Donnie Kyer, and Chris Cantavelos. Again, all 3 of those guys I think have very bright futures. Offensively, we already talked about quarterbacks. Running back Zurlon is having a very good camp. Haven't seen him run with this good a vision since we've been here. Even last camp, there was days we'd be like, man, what's that guy looking at? And I forget sometimes that, his senior year in high school he played running back, and then his freshman year he got hurt, and his sophomore year he didn't play, and then or his third year, and then his third year got hurt and missed the whole season basically, and then last year was really the first season he's played running back since his senior year in high school. So you can see the development and how much he's improved. I think a lot of that has to do with confidence, but he understands the schemes. He's been playing at a very high level. Saylor Lavalle's been very good. Martez Walker's been very good. Anthony Garland's been good. And then Maurice Shoemaker, we moved back to running back after a little experiment in the spring with him at corner, and he's been very good. So we think the group is very deep and very talented. And then Gary Jones, the freshman we brought in from Allegan, is a big guy. He's a 6'1", 210 pounds, and has a bright future. The offensive line, Jake Olson, looks good. Hasn't missed a beat. Hasn't missed a practice or a rep. He's 306 pounds, bench 455, vertical jump 31.5 inches. He's 6'8", and very good player. At left guard, Andy Phillips continues to improve. I think those 2 guys can be 2 of the best offensive linemen in this league, Jake and Andy. And then you throw Nick Beamish in there at center, who started 13 games last year, continues to get better in there as well. Kevin Henry, our right tackle, has had very solid 4th-year junior, started I think 5 games in his career. Done a very good job. And then right now, Cody Pettit's playing right guard. He's a senior, hasn't played much, was a defensive lineman when I got here. We moved him, I think, 2 springs ago to offensive line, struggled with the transition, was on the scout team last year basically as a 4th-year guy. Great team guy, tremendous worker, and finally had a very good spring, and he's been very solid in camp, and right now he's our starting right guard, Cody Pettit. He's got himself to 300 pounds, and he's doing a tremendous job. We've been very happy. That's kind of been a little bit of a surprise of the camp, how well he's playing, and we hope that he continues to play. Some other guys making noise in there. Ramadan Ahmedi has been playing right tackle and left tackle, 6'6", 300-pound guy that we think can be a very good player in this league. Kenny Rogers is back from an injury, another 6'6", 300-pound guy. He's been playing a lot of different spots. He's been doing very well. Connor Collins from Millington's been playing left guard. He's got himself in the mix there to be in the top 8. And Kevin Darcy has done a very good job as well. Been playing tackle and guard and a little bit of center for us. So those 9 guys are really the guys in the rotation. And then we got some young guys. We have 6 guys here in camp, 6 freshmen, and we like all 6 of them. They're tremendous size, athletic ability, toughness, and we think they're going to be very, very good. Tight ends, when I got here there was 1. I think there's 8 or 9 out there now. I can't even keep track of them anymore. Coach Berry keeps stealing them from other positions. So Michael Kinville, Ben McCord, Connor Odekirk, A.J. Westendorf, I'm missing somebody. Adam Fenton is playing dual, tight end and fullback. And then we have a freshman, Zach Crouch, and Joe Austin in there. So good group, big group. athletic, been very solid. The wideouts, I think we got the best crew in the league. We got one of the best ones in the country in Titus. He's had a very, very solid camp, very focused, very determined. They have a great year. And Jerry Harris, we brought back for his 6th year. Great speed, having a very good camp, catching the ball, and really provides a lot of leadership for us in that room, Been here a while, understands what we're doing, and helps that group tremendously. But Titus has been very good. Andrew Flory, been very good. Courtney Williams is back to himself. He's had his best camp since we've been here. Jesse Kroll is having his best camp since we've been here. So as you guys can see, I think we got some very good players there. Titus Davis is having his best camp. Signed him out of junior college last year. His first year is feeling his way around. Now he's comfortable. Tremendous speed. Jerry Harris and Titus and DeFarrell, I think, are be 3 of the fastest guys in this league. All 3 of those guys can stretch the field, and we like those guys. And Anthony Rice, redshirted him last year, having a very good camp as well. So we like all those guys a lot. The 3 freshmen that we have, Mark Chapman will be a very good player. Corey Willis will be a very good player. Eric Cooper will be a very good player. So not only are we going to be good this year, but we only lose 1 or 2. We lose Jerry and DeFarrell, but we got all those other guys back plus those 3 young guys. So I think we'll be in good shape for a while. Kickers, Connor Gagne's been kicking off very well with Ron Caluzzi. Field goals, Ron Caluzzi and Matt Catiguala are battling it out there. And punting, Richie Hogan and Matt Catiguala. And Richie's had a very, very solid camp, very solid. The other 2 spots we'll continue to look at. Mike Zink's been long snapping for us. Punt returners, Titus, Andrew Flory, Sailor Lavallee, all those guys have been back there. And kickoff returns, Sailor and Courtney Williams, DeFarrell Davis, Jerry Harris been back there. So with that, I'll open up for questions.
Coach, do you have a timetable on when you want to name the starting quarterback?
We'd like to do it by early next week.
And what are you looking for, I guess, to follow that in terms of
Real simple. The guy that gives us the best chance to win, So and is moving the team when they have opportunities to move the team and make plays and all these situations that we put them in. The guys that are most consistent going to take care of the ball. But the big thing is the guy that we say we got our best chance to win if he's under center.
Did Cody maybe make the biggest step in the past scrimmage? Did he show the most on the field on Saturday?
I think if you would have to say who was the best one in the scrimmage on Sunday, I'd have to say it was Cody. I would agree with that. Cody's the last couple 3 days, 3 practices in particular, has been very good. All of them have, but Cody in particular has been very good.
When you make the decision, will that be final, or could this competition carry on into the season?
Well, I think that is based on production, leads to more opportunities, just as with any other position. If after a game, after 2 games or whatever it is, our right guard is not performing, and we think it's time to make a change, we think somebody gives us a better chance to win at right guard, we'll make that move. That's something that we evaluate every week throughout the season. So in answer to that, we'll treat it as we do any other position. But there's by no means are we going to name a starter then look to try to replace him. That's we want to. I played that position since I was in the 5th grade and been coaching it a long time, and you don't want a guy playing out there looking over his shoulder either. You want a guy to be confident. So. We'll make sure that when we make the decision, that guy knows he's going to have a chance to play himself into it and be productive.
And briefly, you can say of the three candidates, what do you like the most? What are the greatest strengths of each of them?
Cooper Rush is a classic drop back thrower. He's as pretty as they are as far as just throwing the football. He's very accurate. He's got a great mechanics. He's big, and he gets rid of the ball very quickly. And I think he's a tremendous passer, and he's very bright. Alex Niznak has really improved himself as a passer, even from the spring until now. He's sped up his arm speed, his throwing motion. Coach Watts has done a tremendous job with him. Alex can run too. He's big. I think the guy power clean 390 pounds and vertical jump 37 inches in our conditioning program. So he's extremely strong and athletic. Again, a guy that's had a very good camp. He's making throws that he hasn't made. He's much more consistent in throwing the football, and again, very bright. All three of those guys are very bright. And then Cody Cater is really a tremendous athlete. He's got very good hips, great feet. He's very smooth. And, people told me he was an outstanding basketball player in high school, and you can see some of those things, just the way how fluid he is and how he moves. And he, again, has really improved his mechanics. He's throwing the ball much more consistent. His posture in the pocket has been very, very good. His mental clock on when to stay and when to leave and when to extend a play and when not has been very good. And he can run, too. Him and Alex can both run. Not that Cooper can't, but, that's not his cup of tea. But those other two guys will be able to do some things with our quarterback run game and be able to get those guys on the perimeter and doing some things. So all three have little things, subtle things different, but all three of them have a lot in common too. As I mentioned, work ethic, toughness, the intangibles that you look for, being courageous and the ability to make all the throws. All those guys can do it. Yes.
You mentioned before that, as far as the rest of the offense, you have a lot of experience on the offensive line. You have Zurlon coming back at running back. You have playmakers at wideout. Is there maybe like a sense of, maybe not urgency, but to get the right quarterback in there to possibly have a special season?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's at the top of our list to find out who that guy is and name him, and but it's obviously something you don't want to rush either. But we have a lot of experience on our staff. Morris Watts is, I think, in his 53rd year of coaching quarterbacks of some sort, and I've been around quarterbacks a lot. Mike Cummings has a lot of experience. Gino Gaduli, our running back coach, has been a quarterback since he could walk, I think, and threw for a lot of yards. So one thing we have around is a lot of quarterback gurus, per se. At least we think we are, some of us. So we've been around it a lot, and there's things that that kind of you look for and things that happen. There's a feel to it a little bit, I think. But making a decision like that isn't all come down to numbers. You know what I mean? It's not always, well, this was his completion percentage in camp. This is your completion percentage in camp. It's who's making plays, who's being productive, and who's moving the team. And ultimately, the guys in the team got to want to respond to them. And I think our guys will rally around any three of them. I think our guys really truly enjoy all three of them.
How's the competition been between those three guys?
It's been great. Coach Watts said the night before, the morning of our first practice we had that afternoon, it was like the Cold War in there a little bit. Nobody was talking or anything. But he said they've loosened up a little bit too. Coach Watts, again, I keep bringing up, he's a veteran. He's been in these in the NFL and the USFL and other colleges. He's been in these where guys are trying to, so he's got a really good way to massage the room and get people all bought in on the same page. And one thing that we do is a program is talk about putting the team first. And all three of those guys have to put the team first. We know it's a competition, and again, I've been in those competitions, and I've been there looking across the table at a guy, and you're like, you don't want him to do bad, but you may not want him to do that good either, So, but one thing I've always learned about competition is, first and foremost, you need to just be worried about yourself. And if you find yourself starting to look at other guys and what they do, you're gonna miss out because you're not gonna be focused on what you have to do. So, put yourself in the best situation, prepare yourself. Those three guys, again, have done a very good job. I think they have not been a distraction at all. I see them talking to each other, encouraging each other, coaching each other, and it's been real healthy. It's been a good competition. As I keep saying, all three of the guys are going to benefit from it because they've all raised their level of play through the competition. Let's just face it. Human nature is when there's complacency, if a job's handed to you, you're going to work, but are you going to have that same desire and that same intensity in your workouts all summer and focus and practice every day if you know the job's going to be yours because there's nobody behind you to beat you out? And it's different when there's guys pushing you that are legitimate competition. It's going to make you a better player.
How much does it help that whoever you do pick, that the rest of your offense is so experienced, there's so much talent?
It's going to help a ton. We don't want to be a one-dimensional team. We want to run the ball. We want to mix. We want to throw the ball. We want to play action and do things. But anytime you can run the football, you make the quarterback's job easier. Any way you can manufacture rushing yards, your quarterback's job is going to be easier. And I think we really proved that last year. especially towards the end of the year, when we were winning games and we weren't throwing for 360 yards. You know, we were rushing for 180 and throwing for 180 or 200, and we were winning. And I think that's the formula. And I think with the line, the tight ends, the wideouts, and the backs that we have, hopefully we can take some pressure off that guy. No matter who the guy is, though, if you play that position, you got to make plays. I mean, it's 3rd and 4, it's 3rd and 7. You're gonna have to make a play at some point. You know, if it's 1st and 10 and we play action and you got a guy with a step on a guy, we got to find a way to get him the ball, and that's their job. So ultimately, you know, there's going to be, you know, that guy's going to have a lot on his plate, but if we can run the football, we'll make it a lot easier for him.
What are you naming at Michigan Stadium, 110,000 people? Is that the ideal situation?
You know what? I think it is, because you're putting them in a tough environment, you know, a fun environment, really. I mean, when you play football, when you play football, you know, you dream about going to a college stadium and playing with a packed house on TV. I mean, that's what all these young men, that's what they signed on for when they came to college. They want to play in front of people on TV and do that. So what better way to get started than against them? I mean, they're a great football team, and they're ranked 17th in the country, and they're very well coached. And yes, it'll be a huge challenge, but you know, I'd like to see whoever that guy is step in there and be confident and hopefully play very well, and that'll give him confidence for the rest of the season.
Is there a sense of relief that maybe you found that fifth offensive lineman and Coach Pettit and plugged that more there?
Yeah, you know, not really a sense of relief, because I think we have very capable guys. It was going to be, who is it going to be? You know, we wanted someone to step up and get it done, you know, and, you know, to be quite honest with you, Cody wasn't even penciled in day one as to be the starting right guard, but you know, one of the guys that we were going to have do that came in and didn't do very well in his conditioning test, and got demoted because of that. And Cody's taken advantage of his opportunity. I mean, it's been a classic case of, we talk to our team all about, you never know when you're going to get your opportunity, and when you do get it, you got to grab the horns and you got to take advantage of it. And Cody's done that so far through 10 practices. He's been very solid, been very good. So, you know, our hats off to him, because he's a great young man too. He's a good person, and he works extremely hard, and he really is a guy that we stand up in this program and say, if you work and you put the team first and you have a great attitude and you come here every day and do things the right way off the field and on the field, you'll be given an opportunity. And Cody's done that. He's a great young man and great team guy. Guys in our team really enjoy being around him, and he works very hard.
Coach, you look back a couple of years, and Jake Olson was kind of the offensive tackle that had more of the potential, if you will, and then Eric Fisher was on and is taken first overall. And now Olson's back for his 6th year. You look at where Fisher was at last year, the year before. I guess, where's Olson at?
He's right there. You know, as you mentioned, I mean, 2 years ago, Jake was our left tackle, you know, and then last year, obviously, Fish was, and we had Jake at right tackle. And, you know, we're moving Fish to left tackle, you know. He's pretty good. Yeah, he's pretty good. You know, he's pretty good. He's the first guy taken in the draft. So it's not like he lost his job to, you know, somebody that wasn't a very good player. So, but Jake, we've always felt could be a left tackle, you know, would actually excel at left tackle. They're a little bit different. I think you know, as you look at them, they're both very good. I think Fish is might be a little more nifty in his feet than Jake. But Jake by no means is not athletic. He's very athletic and moves his feet very well for a guy's size. They both bend very well. And again, there's more similarities in the two than there are differences. They're both play the game with an edge, though, both of them. And Jake plays with an edge, man. He's tough, and he gets after guys, and when he blocks guys, he tries to move them. And he's very bright. Both those guys are very bright, very bright. They learn very quickly. Our offensive line coach is one of the best offensive line coaches in the country. These guys are prepared, and you know, he demands a lot out of them, and you know, they benefit because of that, because they continue to get better and better and better. And Jake is a great leader. He's a very good player, and I think basically that what people are looking for is him to put together 13 games healthy and play the whole season, and then I think that he'll have tremendous opportunities after this season.
One name that keeps coming up in the running back conversation, Martez Walker. What have you seen out of him?
Great. He's I don't know if he's the third. Him and Anthony Garland are really having, and Maurice Shoemaker. All those guys are competing for that third spot. He's been very explosive. He's just different than Zurlon and Saylor. Zurlon and Saylor are a little different, but Martez is a little different, And I always tease him. He's our small back, but he's 195 pounds or whatever. But he got very good ball skills, very explosive, great feet, and he runs tough and gets tough yards. And again, a guy that's very bright and has worked extremely hard for his opportunity. But yeah, I think he's a good football player. Anybody else? Yes.
So that right guard, is that set in stone or could that change?
That could change. These guys they're competing. And these other guys are practicing hard every day. And most of this stuff, I think, by going into early next week, we'll probably have it more solidified and everything. But right now, Cody is in there and he's doing a good job. I hope he keeps it.
Coach, you mentioned in media day with Cody Wilson moving on for a third starting receiver. You weren't necessarily going to put someone in there like you want to be a slot guy. You can move different guys around. How is that?
It's been good. In our 11 personnel or 3 wide receiver package, obviously Titus plays flanker, and the X's have been, Jerry, Courtney Williams, and Jesse Kroll, all 3 of those guys. And Andrew Flory plays the flanker as well. But Andrew Flory's been playing is the slot guy in the third receiver sets. Him, Jerry Harris, Anthony Rice, all 3 of those guys. So yeah, we all start them out where they all play the flanker and the split end, and then we take they all have to end up learning how to play inside though, because like Titus Davis, for example, he plays outside, he plays inside. We can get in trips and he's the inside guy. We can get in trips, he's the outside guy. We can get in trips and he's the single guy in the backside. So all of our formations, everything are very versatile, and we ask those guys to learn a lot of different things, but they've all been given an opportunity to get in there and do some things. The big things we got to replace with Cody is his ability to catch the ball in traffic, contested balls, 50-50 balls, if you will, on third down and medium and 3rd and 6 and 3rd and 7. As we went back and watched the cut-ups of our third down, that's where I think Cody really made a difference in our football team last year, was making big plays when he's got guys hanging all over him, man. People talk about he was short, but he was not. He was strong, very strong, and he was very powerful and very competitive. So we got to replace, to me, I think that's a big question for us this year. We got to replace those catches and replace those yards.
You said you wanted to redshirt most of all the freshmen. How's that going on?
I think if we played this week, they would all redshirt. They would all, and which is fantastic. A lot of them are getting reps. A lot of reps, they all get reps, but a lot of them are getting reps. Some with the 2s even at times. But right now, which would be great for us, which means that we're older, A, and B, it's going to bode very well for the future, to have a class like this. And again, I think this class is very, very good. To have all these guys have the potential now to play as 5th-year seniors, I think is going to bode very, very well for the future.
Coach, do you plan on having Derek Nash around this season in terms of just being with the team?
We're trying to get him over here to be around a little bit, and then he'll be obviously enrolling in the winter in January as a full-time student, and we'll get him going.
Have you seen Titus, a change in him since being suspended last year? Has he grown up? Is his attitude now that he's a leader and working with the young quarterback? Have you seen a change?
I've seen a change in him. Last year before that, he's a hard worker. You put him on the football field, and that young man works. I mean, right now, we're reading a book. We do a book as a group, and anyway, one of the stories in the book's about Jerry Rice, Joe Montana talking about Jerry Rice in practice, taking every ball to the end zone. He said sometimes it'd be 90 yards, and they were getting irritated with him because then they have to wait for him to come all the way back, And so Titus is kind of taking that to, he goes, man. Punt return, gone. Catch, gone. I mean, that's how he was, but he's even elevated that. In answer to your question, I see a little bit more serious Titus. I think he's was young, made a mistake. People don't realize. I think sometimes people ask me, are they going to be punished anymore? I mean, could you imagine watching a bowl game on TV, I mean, you need to be punished more than that for these young people, and having their name all over the newspaper every day, and having all their family and their friends and their people that care about them calling them up and asking them. So I think he was very humbled by it. I think he was very embarrassed by it. And yes, I have seen a little different as far as off the field, absolutely. I think he's very determined, very focused. He's a great young man. I mean, if you guys all got to know him, like the way we know him, he just fall in love with him, his personality. He's got a great personality. He works hard. He's a good young man. And we're all very fallible. When we're 19, 20 years old, we all make mistakes, and he made one. And it's like I told him when it happened, I said, you got to take this moment now and turn it into a positive. And at the moment, you know how it is. When you're in the moment, how could this ever be a positive? Well, you got through it. You faced the consequences of it. And now hopefully he's learned from it and understands that, when you become a Division I athlete, you're held to a different standard than other people are. And you got to live your life that way on the field and off the field. So we've seen a difference in him, a little more mature Titus, and he's practicing like he always has. But I really think he's determined to have an outstanding season.
Coach, Zurlon had obviously a big year for you last year. Just what's the next step for him? What are your expectations for him?
Our expectations are for him to be like he was, as we finish the season, the last 4, 5, 6 games. He rushed for 1,500 yards, 20 touchdowns. The one thing we love about Zurlon is he's an every down back. He's a short yardage back. He can catch. He's good in pass protection, and he's a tremendous leader for our team. And he said at media day he was going to try to be more vocal, and I almost fainted because I was like, how can this guy be more vocal? He has been, if you can believe it or not. He's been more vocal, but a lot more serious tone to him when he is. He still is having a great time out there, but we expect him to carry on. I expect him to even be better than he was last year, based on the fact he's played a lot more now. He's got a chance to go back and look at the things on tape where he missed cuts and missed opportunities, and we've really challenged him too to how are you going to get better? Where can you make a difference in your pass game, in your routes, and catching the ball, and your pass protection, and becoming a leader? All those different areas, and again, I think he's take those challenges to heart and is trying to work on those things.
How special can both he and Titus become?
Both of them could be. I think, and I tell people this, as good as there are players in this league. I think one's on the Blitnikoff watch, and the other one's on the Doak Walker and the Maxwell watch. So I think they've earned a lot of attention early. Now they got to go out and re-earn it and play it. But physically, they're both extremely gifted physically. Titus, they're both fast. They're both explosive. They both have very good size for their positions, and they're both very smart and very have great football intelligence.
You mentioned Shamari Benton and Ben Randall. Any other injuries, and how's the health?
Ben's been good. Ben Randall's been good. He's practiced. He had back surgery. I think out of the 10 practices, I think he's only missed one that we've kind of held him out for precautionary things. And then Jabari hasn't been doing much here in the last few days, but we expect him to be able to play in the first game. So.
Any other injuries?
Joe Bacci banged up a shoulder. Matt Russo will no longer be with our team. He had a concussion, and that's been, he's had several, and so he was medically disqualified, which is very sad because he's a great young man. He worked extremely hard to get himself, and he was really playing well. And I know he's devastated by that news, but we feel for him and in that situation.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, thanks, guys.
Yep, if you guys want to move your microphones to the table for the student athletes, we'll bring in the offense first.
I know. fire away with your questions. Please address them to one person or specifically so they know.
Jake, how's it feel to be back at it? It had to be pretty devastating last year when we went down that second game. Feeling strong again?
Yeah, I feel really healthy. It was devastating being my senior year, and having the chance to be able to come back and play this year is going to be awesome.
Titus, talk about the quarterback situation. What you've seen on those guys and who's looking better than somebody?
In my opinion, I think they're all looking really good. They're all getting the job done, and I think whoever it is going to do a great job. So just waiting for them to step up.
Is there anybody you're working better with than others?
I wouldn't say no, not really.
Jake, last couple of years, you got to play alongside Eric Fisher. How'd that help you? And what can you take from that as you transition back to left tackle?
Working with Eric Fisher, I mean, me and him have been playing with each other for the last 4 years, and we've always competed with each other and also helped each other. I think that's helped us both in the long run, and I'm excited to go back to left. I played left and right in the past, so it should be good this year.
Zurlon, coach said you've been more vocal. Is that true?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, when I said that, I'm more like vocal on not just joking around part, but just getting the people to like come together and then let's do this thing this year. More vocal as in leadership and stuff like that. So.
Are you really taking the ball in the end zone every time you practice after you touch it, or?
Say it again.
Are you really taking the ball in the end zone every time you touch it in practice, keeping on running after a play's over?
Yeah, I try to. I try to finish all the way in the end zone every time I can.
Coach said you kind of read that in the book as far as Joe Montana throwing to Jared Rice, that kind of where that came along, where the idea came from?
Yeah, I've always done it ever since I was younger. But, I mean, I heard it from Jerry Rice originally, so that's why I really started to do it. But, yeah, we read about it in the book also. So.
Zurlon, after all the injuries you've dealt with in your career, what did last year do for your confidence?
Well, I mean, it wasn't particularly last year that did anything for my confidence. I've always been confident in myself. It was just, things happen. So you're gonna get hurt. It's a nasty sport. That's why girls don't play the game. But like I said, I've always been confident in what I can do, and my confidence is through the roof whenever, hurt or not. So it's really last year. It helped me out as far as the team and everything like that. But my confidence is always gonna be the same.
Jake, do you feel more natural at left tackle? Is it more of a natural back?
I don't know if it's natural. It's just getting used to playing it again after playing right the last 2 years. And starting out in camp, I started back at left, and now I've been going really well. And since I played it my freshman year, I was able to jump back pretty quick.
Jake, how you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling healthy, moving around good. I'm excited to play again this year.
This question can be for any of you guys. Just how excited are you guys for the opportunity to start your season at Michigan Stadium and be able to play in front of 110,000 people?
It's a huge honor for us. The whole team is excited for the opportunity we get to go down there and play them. First game, and is definitely going out there playing against them is like a measuring stick for us, see where we at. So we're gonna go down there and handle business.
Zurlon, Coach was saying that they've been challenging you, the coaches have been challenging you to kind of get better here this year, and just what are some of the ways that you're focusing on improving this year after having such a great season last year?
I don't think I'm doing anything different than I did last year. I'm still working hard. This year I'm just trying to get more younger guys involved, then coach them up in areas that they lack in. So, I mean, that's pretty much what I've grown on this camp, is just trying to get the young guys involved and trying to get them right with the playbook and things like that.
Zurlon, do you feel more responsibility for the offense this year, especially with an inexperienced quarterback, whoever it ends up being as the starter?
No, not at all. We're gonna go out there and we're gonna do the same game plan we had, last year. Like Titus said, whichever one of those quarterbacks, step up and take that spot, I'm sure, it wouldn't be a drop off. I mean, all the quarterbacks have been, they've been playing well this camp, and I think, it's just gonna be a balanced offense.
bowl games?
I learned a lot. That kind of brought me down to earth a little bit. Toward the end of the season, I got too complacent, I say, and it just refocused me and just got me working harder and just to improve myself as a player and as a person. So it taught me a lot.
Anything else?
Thanks, guys.
Questions for Shamari and Avery?
With the way the defense had the last 4 or whatever games last year to really kind of help the team, propel the team to go on that winning streak, do you really feel like there's some momentum carrying over this season? Either one, I guess Avery first.
Yeah, there's definitely some momentum coming on from how we performed last couple games. Definitely like through our spring ball and fall camp, we're still building on that momentum.
Shamari, there's a lot of this preseason hype around you and Shirochi. I guess you kind of ignore that stuff, or do you embrace it and try to use it to propel yourself to a better season or a good season?
Kind of both. We ignore it and just do the things that got us there. We keep working hard and competing against each other and fighting for our spots on the field. You know, it's competition at our spots each and every day, and it also gives us confidence to keep going and doing what we're doing.
Avery, what do you see out of the quarterbacks?
What's that?
What do you see out of the quarterbacks?
It's been really good competition from pretty much all of them. They're all competing, and it's going to pretty much make them all better.
Anyone looking more crisper throwing the ball than the others, or?
I haven't really paid attention. They all look pretty good to me. So.
Avery replacing Zurlon, talk about how tough that is and kind of what you've seen from those two strong safeties.
Yeah, like Jaleel is probably one of the best leaders I've probably ever been around. So that part is going to be having a lot of shoes to fill with that. Playing wise, he's definitely a great player too. So it's just it will be pretty difficult for me to fill that role.
Avery, do you feel like Jaleel's prepared you to step into a leadership role for the defense?
Oh yeah, just watching him play and just like having him talk to me, giving me tips and everything. So I feel that he has definitely helped me out in a lot of aspects.
Shamari, having that year of experience playing next to Justin, do you really feel the chemistry there going into this year where you guys know where you're going to be, what your assignments are, and everything that kind of goes into that?
Oh yeah, we've had an opportunity to grow in this defense and gone through many installs with it, and our confidence is built in it, and we know it like the back of our hands.
Avery, Coach talked about the competition at that second cornerback spot. What have you seen from the guys over there that are competing for that second job?
They're I think they're all been in rotating with the 1s and 2s and everything, and so they all been playing pretty good football. It's been a lot of competition over there, so it'll be interesting to see how that all turns out.
Avery, have you seen a lot of growth out of Kayvon Frazier this year as far as what he really knows what he needs to be doing and kind of moving forward as a player?
Oh, you repeat the question?
Have you seen a lot of growth out of Kayvon Frazier going into this camp?
Oh yeah. Kayvon grown a lot especially from this last year. He got another year under his belt, and I'm just looking forward to seeing him play how he plays this year.